Hello. This is Apostolos from PNOE, founder and CRO. Together with me today, we have Joe Klaudi, founder and CEO of FitMax, and Daphne from our Metabolic Experts team. And today we want to do a discussion where Joe will share with us his experience with PNOE Grow so far. So Joe, thank you very much for joining our discussion today. Could we start our discussion by you sharing a few words about yourself, about FitMax, and why you decided that PNOE and the services that we provide is a good fit for you?
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me. Tell you a little bit about myself. I am educated as a respiratory therapist and worked in the field for 23 years. Part of that is, dealing with a lot of medical equipment. But one of the things that we dealt with a lot is, obviously being in healthcare is people who have issues with fitness and just overall health and wellness. I retired from respiratory roughly 10 years ago, and I found myself in the supplement business. We originally purchased the PNOE system to validate one of our performance-enhancing supplements. Since that time, I've sold the business, but I really was really captivated by the idea of being able to do metabolic testing. And like most things I do, I really dug in and found that, much to my surprise, most fitness centers and trainers, gym owners really weren't allowed and didn't address probably what I believe is the single most important thing in health and wellness, especially when you get into a gym, and that is metabolism and diet. So I sat down and had some discussion with some local trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, and some gym owners, and realized very quickly what a missing piece this was to what they did. So after some discussion and some talks with the people at PNOE, I decided to launch FitMax Health and Performance. And our business is to collaborate with gym owners, trainers, health, strength and conditioning coaches to help them provide this service to their clients. So far, we've gotten a really positive response, and I think moving forward, we're going to have we'll be able to change the philosophy of trainers and those coaches, at least in our area.
Great. And Joe, could you please share with us which areas you're currently focusing at the moment?
Right now, the obvious one is, here in the U.S., being overweight and out of shape is epidemic. We probably have, the highest rate of obesity of just about any country in the world. So we're really focusing on that, helping trainers understand that, and gym owners understand that they really need to have a comprehensive package for their clients. Anyone can take someone who just started in fitness, who's never really, dieted or watched their nutrition habits or even been to a gym to see immediate success, right? That's easy. But what really is important is for those people to see long-term success, and to take their experience and turn it into a lifestyle change. And what we found is the best way to do that is to address their behaviors, whether it be in the gym, at the dinner table, or whatever, and kind of put them all together. I have a saying, there's no amount of exercise that can overcome poor diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could go to the gym 60 hours a week and eat pizza and ice cream, and you're not going to look, feel any better. You're just going to have a whole lot of time at the gym. So here in the US, trainers aren't allowed to discuss nutrition with their clients other than to say, hey, this is what we think your basal metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate is. So you should eat about this much. For someone who has no understanding, you might as well ask them to go run a nuclear reactor. If they're not familiar with what calories are, what how many calories are in a gram of protein versus a gram of fat, that's really tough. And the beauty about using the PNOE system is it takes all of that out of the trainer's hands. All the trainer has to do is convince their client that this is valuable to them, have them agree to sit on a chair for 10 minutes. And the way our program works is we actually go into the gym or the client's home and do it. And then we take that report, we get it to the trainer, and then they work with Daphne and her team. They have a consultation with Daphne and her team. We'd love to see the trainer involved so the trainer has a better understanding of where their client is. And then the trainer is able to pass off that nutrition component to us by getting them set up with a nutrition plan that's so easy to follow on the app. And then we start going from someone who just wants to lose weight to someone who wants to be healthier. And they want to lifestyle. So when you take so when we had a client recently that Daphne and her team worked with that didn't realize how filling Brussels sprouts are. Well, yeah. And they were astonished that they could eat as much food as they were prescribed in a nutrition plan. And I found that myself. I go through a nutrition plan. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to eat all of this food in one day. And I did struggle with that initially. But then once I took everything into account, meal timing and when to eat when I should be consuming the macros and some of the micronutrients that are recommended, all of a sudden I found myself never hungry. I'm in a caloric deficit of close to 800 calories a day right now, and I'll adjust that as I move forward. But
based on your last PNOE test, I assume, Joe.
Yes,
but you have created the deficit based on your last resting metabolic rate test.
Yeah, I'm sure Daphne's not happy to hear that because she suggested about 300 calories, but I kind of went.
You went more aggressive.
Yeah. So
I think.
yeah.
Oh, please continue. I was just going to say that I would like for you to also describe, because you have done multiple tests and nutrition plans, how that overall experience is, because I might haven't been as creating a huge deficit here for you, but then again, our nutrition team is aligned with your goals and needs. So I think that it would be interesting to hear about that as well. But please continue.
Good. So speaking to that, Daphne, one of the things I found was really interesting. The first thing that I noticed after I had done my initial RMR was fat burner. I have been on a pseudo keto diet. It's actually more leaning toward a protein sparing modified fast diet. I was eating lots of protein, virtually no carbohydrates, and just green leafy vegetables. And so I did that, and then summer hit, and I wasn't sticking to my regular plan. I wasn't getting to the gym a lot of time with my daughters at the beach and at the lake. I wasn't feeling well, so I decided it was time to redo the test. It had been, I think, about 4 months. So I decided to, redo the test, and this time add the active metabolic rate test. And I was astonished to find how dramatically my metabolism had changed. My metabolism had ground almost to a halt because I wasn't eating the way I was before. I wasn't getting, the proper macros, and I wasn't exercising. So I saw that, and at first I didn't believe it. I said, oh, there must be something wrong. But then as I thought back, I was spending a whole lot of time doing exactly what we shouldn't be doing, which is eating pizza and soft pretzels and ice cream and all those fun summer foods that we enjoy over, you know, summer vacation. And, you know, so I did the test. I sat down with Daphne and went through the entire evaluation myself, and everything that she recommended, as I think back about, you know, when I was in my best condition, aligned pretty closely with what I was doing. Some things are a little bit of a challenge for me, like doing 40 minutes of cardio in zone 4. That took me a little bit of work to get to there. But the detail that everybody goes into with the analysis of the testing is just, it's phenomenal, and it works. You know, I have, you know, a few clients who I am an accountability coach to, that I speak with every week, and yeah, there's going to be struggles because it's a complete departure from what they're used to. You know, eating more healthy, eating cleaner foods, but they all come back with the same thing, is that I'm getting it and I feel so much better. My performance in the gym isn't so much of a challenge anymore. It's you know, it's more comfortable. And you know, the biggest thing is, I can't believe I'm actually on a diet because I'm never hungry. And that's the beauty of the nutrition component, is that it's all, you know, in you know, it lines up with how a particular person's metabolism works, and you know, just follow it as closely as you possibly can, and you know, it definitely works.
Very interesting. That's very interesting, Joe, and thanks for sharing, you know, your experience as a user, in fact, not only as a business owner, when you tried personally the device, the PNOE solution, and had your discussions with Daphne on how to analyze and, you know, in fact, identify your actionable insights from your tests. Joe, another question that I would like to ask you is, like, I know that you have administered many PNOE tests and then, you know, sat with your metabolic expert, Daphne, with your clients to explain the results and their essentially what are their actionable insights from derived from their PNOE reports. I would like to ask you, which which user can you think of that, you know, the PNOE test really helped them to understand something and change a habit that helped them achieve their goal? And that's my first question. And my second question, Joe, is what is your, like, we gathered 12, you know, biomarkers from human health. What is your personal favorite? Like, what is the biomarker that you use mostly to help your clients achieve their goals?
Well, as for a client, her name is April. April is someone who has just been trying for years to get her weight under control, and with little or no success. She has an incredible home gym in her basement, a treadmill, exercise bike, free weights. She trains religiously, but just couldn't seem to, you know, lose any weight. And after the test, we had a little bit of a delay in getting her with Daphne's team and then the nutritionist, you know, to talk about, you know, the changes that she needed to make. But I spoke with her actually this morning, and she has already seen some weight loss, which we suspect is probably just mostly water loss from switching over from a diet that was really high in carbohydrates to a diet that is really centered on, you know, good quality, you know, healthy carbohydrates, green leafy vegetables, brown rice. And, you know, so she's really encouraged, and she already feels, she feels much better. She's in a very stressful field in that she's a counselor. So each and every day she's living someone else's trauma, and that creates stress. We know when we talk about cortisol and all those, you know, different things that happen that will help cause her not to stick with her diet or her exercise program. She's been really religious about it, and she's really happy. She feels better. She's seen some changes. It's only been about 2 weeks. She's comfortable with preparing her meals, and actually has her entire family, her husband and her 2 sons, eating much more healthy now too. So that's one client that really sticks out, because she was really troubled. Her family getting on her about her weight, which maybe I stepped out of lines, but I counseled them all about that. Guilt and shame is not something that we want to, employ with someone who's working to live a healthier life. We don't want to guilt them in or shame them for, wanting to have a donut or still being a little overweight. But the system works for her, and it's pretty. It's really encouraging, especially with her. She's feeling a lot better.
Great example.
I'm really happy to hear that. I remember April, and I remember that she was a little bit scared when we were going to do the nutrition questionnaire, because first of all, she might have felt that she was going to be judged, but we explained that this is all to help her. And I remember her saying that she was disappointed from other times she tried to do diets. But as you said, we don't guilt anyone if they have one donut more. That's just perfectly fine. If you stick to your process and follow what you need to do, you'll just see the results. And I'm really happy to hear that for April.
Good. She's excited.
Yeah, that's a great example, Joe. Great. Something else that I would like you, please, to share with us today is, like, as a business in the wellness space, I would like you to share your experience, please, of how the PNOΗ Grow program has allowed you to scale your business. So how this infrastructure that we provide to our Grow clients of, having a dedicated metabolic expert assigned to your account that does the analysis of your results, conducts consultations with your clients, and is always in sync with you on how to help your clients and identify the fastest path, so that they can achieve their goals based on the metabolic data that we have gathered from the test. So how has this infrastructure that we provide to you through the PNOΗ Grow program has allowed you to really scale your business? Because, Joe, from our discussions, I know that you fully resonate with the value of metabolic analysis, and want to test as many clients of yours as possible. But always there are logistic problems in analyzing the result, doing consultations. The fact that you can outsource this to us, how has this helped you?
Wow, that was the thing that really started this business. We had, like I said, we purchased equipment for a separate reason, and then as the Grow program started to grow, I realized that, man, like, we have an immediate staff of metabolic experts, an immediate staff of dietitians and nutritionists available to us and our clients. So we eliminated the need for searching for those people and for having to go through the time and expense to get those certifications ourselves. It gives us the ability to walk into a facility and let them know the same thing, that they have access to this complete group of professionals who essentially become part of their team. It's just so easy. We do the test, we enter the data into we enter the client's information, we do the test, and immediately Daphne or one of her team reach out to us and say, okay, what are we doing for this client? What do we need? What are we going to do? They get the report done. They get it back to us. They coordinate with the consultations for the clients who are doing that. They also, coordinate going through the nutrition questionnaire, which is so complete. It's, there doesn't leave us any stone unturned. And I basically have a staff of many, immediately. From a marketing standpoint, taking that off my plate, because that in the past with my business, that's something that I've handled directly, and it's really time consuming. But knowing that that you guys have a staff of people who are creating the Instagram content and the blog post, and there are videos available, really makes life a lot easier for us. When we just got the newsletter with the new slides, man, that was something that I had been working on. Actually, was getting ready to hire someone to do, because we spend a lot of time in front of people. We go to triathlons, different fitness events. Starting the end of the month, we're in a group of 6 gyms, 1 day a month, talking with their clients, talking with their members about, metabolic testing and the importance, and, having those slides that we can just have on our iPad and just walk a potential client right through it, and what the benefits are of rested metabolic rate testing and how that can all be incorporated into their overall wellness. I think it's going to be really good. And frankly, the PNOE Grow, I couldn't have done this without the PNOE Grow program at all.
Joe, thank you for your kind words. This is precisely the reason that we designed the PNOE Grow program, in order to essentially provide to a business everything they need to scale the metabolic business part, on top of their existing business, and observing the speed that you have, the velocity that you have started growing your business, the metabolic side of your business is just great. That's very helpful, and I'm glad that already you have satisfied clients that have already started seeing results. I'm sure that many more will come. Daphne, would you like to ask something, Joe? I know that you have endless discussions analyzing the results of Joe's clients, and just curious if you would like to ask something, Joe.
Well, we did discuss about your experience. We discussed the benefits of the Grow program for you as a business owner, and you did discuss the marketing material as well. So maybe something that would be worthwhile right now is to discuss about your pricing, bundles, and general strategy that you have utilized here with PNOE.
Without revealing too much of our business model, we actually offer 3 tiers of service for our clients in kind of 2 different spaces. For the general health and wellness client, or the client looking for weight loss or weight management or overall fitness, we have 3 tiers, which is just strictly the metabolic testing, the resting metabolic test, and a consultation. And then they can just pass that off and work directly with their trainer, or they may have a nutritionist. We actually have a couple of clients coming up in the next week who are already working with their physician on weight management, and their physician suggested that they get a resting metabolic rate test so they can kind of guide them. So that's kind of an entry level, or someone what we refer to as self-managed weight loss. The next one would be by adding in a nutrition component. Again, it's still just a resting metabolic rate test, but we get them the advanced report, the consultation with the metabolic specialist, and and the nutrition plan. So that way they can kind of, again, maybe take that to their trainer and work with them. And then obviously the one that we really encourage anyone who's serious about their health and wellness is to do the full bundle, which is the resting metabolic rate test, the active metabolic rate test, the consultation, and the nutrition plan. Now that really empowers them and their trainer to put them right where they need to be, by identifying what their specific training zones are, helping to guide them how much training they need to spend in those different training zones to facilitate what their goals are. So that's probably where right now about 80% of our revenue and business is in that. Dealing with those types of clients, people who are new to the gym, people who are new to fitness and just really want to take it serious. Now, the other side is where we do have access in this area we have 3 pretty big triathlon events that take place right here within, a 40-minute drive of our offices. And we have similar packages for, athletes. And we don't just really look at endurance athletes. When we look at, these Spartan races are really taking off. And, some of those people are as serious about performing well in those races as any other, I've talked to a couple who are as serious as professional triathletes about dialing their time in and getting a better performance, through their race. So with those, I still have 3 different tiers, and where we'll talk about, just their active metabolic rate. They want to kind of dial in where their VO2 max is, and then they're kind of self-guided. They really just want the numbers. They want to see the numbers and be able to work with whether they have a trainer or whatnot. The next one would be, it's a little different with the athletes where we put them both together. We do the resting metabolic rate and the active study together, and also the consultation to help them identify where their weaknesses are and help them with their training, to put their training together to do that. The 3rd tier will eventually be when we can start adding breathwork training and really specific training to their, to those high-end performance athletes. We're not really pushing that right now. We've had some conversations with some folks. There's a triathlon club that's in New York City that asked us to come and speak to all their members. About the testing. But yeah, right now, I think that really it's kind of the entry level and the people who are most interested in their overall health and wellness, where we're showing the most benefit to people right now. And of course, trainers I was amazed to find out how that trainers really didn't speak nutrition to their clients at all. And that was just a lack of ignorance. I never used a trainer or spoke with a trainer, and understanding their limitations. They're really not allowed. There are trainers who really want to improve their retention rate. And obviously, gyms, even big corporate gyms, want their clients to stay around longer. They want them to be in have a training package longer. And what the data shows is that the overwhelming majority of those people stop using a trainer or stop training altogether because they're not seeing the results that they expected. And going deeper into that, the majority of that has to do with nutrition. You can go and I think we just had a post recently, a blog post that was, weight loss or weight management is all physiology and not psychology. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree, but the problem is that it becomes psychology, because if someone sees a Facebook post or an Instagram post of a friend or a colleague or someone that lost this tremendous amount of weight, and they're all excited. They're like, wow, if Sally can do it, I can do it too. And they go into the gym and they do what Sally did, and it doesn't work for them, then, immediately they go right to the psychology part of it is, I guess I didn't work hard enough, or I guess it's never going to, I guess this is the way God made me and this is the way I'm going to be. When the reality of it is that what worked for Sally doesn't work for everybody. And, setting reasonable expectations. And that's where using the PNOE system really, really makes the biggest difference. You get in front of a trainer, the trainer sees what's going on, has a consultation with a metabolic expert, and then they sit down with the client, they set reasonable expectations, they put together, we handle the nutrition component and we work with the client there, and then the trainer can look at the active metabolic study and the way that Daphne and her team just dial everything right in kind of takes all the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
And cookie cutters only work for making cookies. Like I said earlier, anybody could take a group of people who are out of shape, overweight, and unhealthy and get them into the gym and show some progress. The difference is when they hit that first plateau.
Exactly.
Or now what do we do? And that is where, from my experience, I've always been a fitness buff. I started, weightlifting when I was probably 17 years old, not even out of high school yet, and going to the gym and trying to live a healthier life. But seeing so many people get to that point where, I guess the keto people call it plateauing. People who follow paleo, they may call it a stall, whatever. And everybody has this plan to overcome it. And really the only way to overcome it is to never hit it in the first place. And 10 minutes out of their day, once every 3 months can eliminate all that. And in the grand scheme of things, it's a small expense. Back to Daphne, back to your original question, pricing. Our highest package which is everything for someone who's really, their goal is to get healthy and, manage their weight, is $299. And what they get for that is, I think it's well beyond what the cost is, especially when you look at gyms in this area charge up to $429 a month to work with a trainer 3 days a week. The investment's tiny. And I would challenge that what we do far outlast what the trainer will do. Once we, if the client can follow a nutrition plan, follow an exercise plan that's built around their metabolism, it's just a game changer all the way across the board.
I agree. Thank you for your kind words, Joe. And also, I do agree with your point about every person being different. Every person has other needs, another type of lifestyle, another work environment, and obviously other goals as well. So we would like to apply this testing to that and help them find what works best for them and not the cookie cutters that you mentioned.
Exactly.
Overall, I feel that you have covered my questions, so thank you for that. Apostolos?
Joe, you have covered everything. Thank you very much for taking the time today to connect with us and share with the PNOE community your experience so far. It's great to see the results and the impact that has been that users get after using the PNOE services. And I would be very glad to reconnect in several months so you can share more success stories. Joe, thank you very much, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.